Vitoria-Gasteiz is the administrative capital of the Basque country, a cosmopolitan city with stunning architecture and a rich cultural as well as sporting heritage. It's the largest in the Basque autonomous community, with a population of just inside 250,000 people. Eduardo says the 10th edition of the Vitoria-Gasteiz Triathlon is finally here. Last year's race was huge, but we want this year to be even bigger. We've added fan zones and a giant wide screen around the course. We have around 2,300 participants from 22 countries taking part, and I have no doubt this race will be an absolute success. When former Ironman world champion Chris McCormack came here and won in 2012, this city became the beating heart of Spanish triathlon. After finishing runner-up last year but victorious in 2014, Alejandro Santamaria is back for another crack at the title. Vitoria's really special. The whole city stops for this race, which makes it one of the best triathlon races I've ever seen. With 2,300 athletes arriving from over 20 countries, no wonder the expo lasts for 4 days. An opportunity to pick up some last-minute equipment before the big start. Canadian Brooke Brown is back, hoping for a hat-trick of victories. She was simply sensational in 2014 and 2015.
It's one of my principal races of the year. I really love coming back to Vitoria year after year. The people, the spectators, everyone's always welcomed me with such warmth, and it's not just me. Anyone who does this race can say the exact same thing.
It's two big races on this fabulous weekend of triathlon, one over the full iron distance, one over the half. Both promise to be equally competitive. Race day morning at Lander Park sees an atmospheric mist descend on transition. Even the favourites are making sure all the equipment is poised and ready. One man to watch out for in the full distance is the Spaniard Javier Amperan. I recommend this race 100%. It has everything going for it. The organisation is superb, the roads are super fast for the bike, and the run is very flat. It all starts with a dip in the Ulibari Gamboa Lake. The full distance athletes swim 3.8k, which is 2 loops of 1,900 metres. Those doing the half, it's just one circuit, a shade inside 2 kilometres. The half-distance athletes begin first. A great sight here in the lake for this, the 10th edition of the Vitoria-Gasteiz Triathlon. Now the full distance he-men and women prepare for battle. The elites allowed the luxury of 50 metres between them and the rest of the club triathletes. The long, arduous day begins. What a spectacular moment for all taking part in this great race. Ivan Alvarez, one of the names out front early on, but there's a long, long way to go. So while the journey begins for the full distance, for those competing in the half, the swim is over. Great effort in the water from Pablo de Pina, Peru Alfaro, Miguel Angel Fidalgo and Stanislav Krylov. They are the first 4 men to finish, all inside 24 minutes. First out of the water in the women's race is the Swiss athlete Céline Scherrer, under 24 minutes. A great start to her race, and a good swim as well from Maria Pujol. Coming out of the water, 1.5 minutes down on the leader. Third, another ½ minute down, is Vitoria Joanicotina. While the best of the rest emerge from the water with a brilliant swim by Céline Scherrer. She's given herself the perfect platform for success here in Vitoria.
I really liked racing here. I mean, it's a great organization, and it was perfect weather, so the spectators were great, so it was an amazing race.
While those completing the half are already thinking about their efforts on the bike, those contesting the grueling full distance are only halfway through their swim. The Australian exit, one circuit of 1.9k gone, one to go. Yvette Grice leading for the women at the halfway stage of her swim, with Ruth Brito in second place. So what a great swim from the leading contenders in the full iron distance elite men's race. Ivan Alvarez inside 55 minutes, little look over the shoulder, and he does have an advantage. Behind him, Jean-Matthias Spivak. And in third place, coming home also inside 55 minutes, Joseph Vinolas, 30 seconds behind the race leader. From the first moment in the swim, I felt in good shape. I was pleased to come out of the water in first place. The bike section, usually the weakest element for me, also went pretty well. Yvette Grice completing the second circuit in the water as emphatically as the first. She's the early leader with 2 disciplines to go. Ruth Brito finishing in second place. Both of them coming home inside 57 minutes. Little thumbs up from her, and a good swim coming from Elena Escolar in third. A beautiful place to swim, and also a fantastic part of Spain on the bike. Great course, perfect roads for cycling. 180k in total for those doing the full iron distance. The second loop, the longest, 72 kilometres, taking them past Salvatierra Aguirre before heading out towards the shores of the magnificent Lake Ulibarri Gamboa. Beautiful sunshine, great conditions, the perfect surface for cycling. Third in the half iron distance is the 28-year-old Spaniard Pablo de Pina, 6th in the National Olympic Distance Championships. His goal is to compete on the World Triathlon Series. The leader, his countryman Miguel Angel Fidalgo, 4th in the Mallorca Ironman earlier this year. Half the distance here still needs all that quality. And the man trying to close down Fidalgo is Aymar Lizarra. Finished the Ironman Kona a few years ago inside 10 hours, which is no mean feat. But the man trying to close the gap on the leading 2, Pablo de Pina in third. To have all the city cheering on the 2,300 runners the whole way round is amazing. Vitoria has earned its place as one of the best races in the world for its spectators, and that's something that makes you want to keep coming back every year. But there's still a fair amount of hard work to be done before they can start thinking about that tight city centre course packed with spectators and the run into the finish. Coming into transition 2, the athlete in second place, Aymar Lizara, has a gap of around a minute to chase down the leader, Miguel Angel Fidalgo. Both really good runners, 13.1 miles from a glorious finish here. A pancake flat course, packed with spectators all the way around. Nothing not to like for the triathletes. A wonderful way for an atmospheric race to draw to a close. And as they're about to experience over the last decade, the residents of Vitoria have grown to love every element of this race.
It was amazing. Like I think I can't even remember a race where so many people were on the race course and actually cheering for me, and so I was really happy, and they actually brought me like flying to the finish line.
Céline Charret in the lead as everybody prepares for that 13.1 mile journey around the packed streets of the city centre. Plenty of high fives, plenty of support for all. The first winner of the day, Miguel Angel Fidalgo, comfortably inside 4 hours. What a victory in the Spanish sunshine for him. Second home just a couple of minutes later, able to enjoy his guard of honour down the last home stretch, Pablo de Pena, also inside 4 hours. And more than 6 minutes further back down the course, Aymar Lizara completed the podium. Vitoria is an amazing course, and you can tell by the amount of people coming here from all over the world. It is very hard though. I'll try and come back in even better shape next year. Céline Charret absolutely loves this course and this event weekend, and she has been dominant throughout. An emphatic winner inside 4.5 hours. Sarah Lester, the Australian, coming home for second. And the Spaniard, Leonor Fonts, completed the podium. That's it for the half-distance race, but those contesting the full-distance event are still hard at work. Join us after the break for the conclusion of the 2016 Triathlon Vitoria Gasteiz. Welcome back to the 10th edition of Triathlon Vitoria Gasteiz. We've already seen Spain's Miguel Angel Fidalgo and Switzerland's Céline Charret winning the 2 elite half-distance races. Now we return our attention to those contesting the full distance. They've done the 3.8k in the stunning lake. Now they're contending with that 180-kilometre ride before finishing with the marathon, of course. Leading the women's race is the 36-year-old Spaniard Ruth Brito. Age group winner here 4 years ago when Vitoria held the long-distance World Championships. Behind her, the German Julia Bohn, second in the Strongman Japan long-distance race just 3 weeks ago. No sign of fatigue in those legs. And Brooke Brown, the two-time winner from Canada, here hoping for the hat-trick. Remember, her best discipline is the run, but she'll have to close the gap to be in contention. As far as the men's race is concerned, Alejandro Santamaria leading at the moment. Runner-up last year, winner in 2014. Vitoria's mountain landscape, full of shades of green, makes you really enjoy the bike section. It's great looking at such beautiful scenery whilst doing what you love. Well, the inspirational surroundings clearly working for Santamaria. He's given himself a great chance here of title number 2. Well, as these full-distance athletes head on to their third circuit on the bike, this is where it can really start to hurt. And the prospect of that 26.2-mile run begins to loom large in their minds. Heading on to that third and final circuit on the bike, Ruth Brito still leading, the former World Age Group long-distance champion. Julia Bone looking good in second place, desperate to close the gap. But can Brooke Brown of Canada make it 3 in a row? If she's to do so, it'll have to be a spectacular run. Alejandro Santamaria, a winner 2 years ago, still in the driving seat in the men's race. With Ivan Alvarez, 13th in Ironman Lanzarote this year, in second place and still smiling. Javier Amperan in third, on course for a podium finish here. Coming into T2 with a sizable lead after an excellent 180k on the bike is Alejandro Santamaria. Missed out on the title by just a fraction last year. Ivan Alvarez in second with Xavier Amperan close behind him in third. What a great turn it was on the bike from Amperan to close the gap. Alvarez still managing to talk and smile, but he's going to have to leave it all out on the roads in his quest to overhaul Santamaria. The best of the rest, meanwhile, playing serious catch-up on the leading trio. And the marathon is producing a surprise here, because as Ivan Alvarez looks at his watch, he has moved ahead of Santamaria and has the chance to close out the win here in the Spanish sunshine. Great support all the way round, and not just for the leaders. Ruth Brito coming off the bike and heading onto the run in front. But there is real quality right behind her on the streets. Julia Bone going well in second place, the German. Plenty of nutrition in her hand. And can it be the hat-trick for Brooke Brown of Canada? We know she can run, and she's really going to have to produce it here to close down the two leaders. Back with the men, and Ivan Alvarez is turning the screw on Alejandro Santamaria. Amperan still holding on to third at the moment. Thumbs up, waves, and plenty of high fives all around this sun-drenched course. It's a brutal distance, but slowly and surely they're getting there. Well, even for the leaders, those chasing glory, this is where it really starts to hurt. A fabulous day in the sunshine for all, but those conditions have been tough.
The race I felt very well. I have had a fast swim and a good bike split, but then on the running course it was too warm, and I think I go too fast on the bike, and so my run was not so fast than I expected.
Towards the end of the two elite races, changes in the podium positions. Yvette Grice of Great Britain moving up to third, and Cano of Spain also getting in the mix for a top three finish. Meanwhile, Ivan Alvarez very much enjoying his glorious run into the finish. A sensational victory for him inside 8:35. Even a kiss for his fiancée. The runner-up, as he was last year, is the 2014 champion Alejandro Santamaria. A great performance on another tough day for him. Jose Luis Cano did indeed come home for third, 20 minutes behind the winner, Ivan Alvarez. Family is the most important thing for me. I owe half of my victory today to my fiancée Carla, who's given me all her support. When I'm here, I can give my best, but only because of the support my family gives me. Brooke Brown producing a storming run, 3:21 on the marathon to make it a hat-trick of victories here for the Canadian. No disgrace in second place for the German Julia Bone. And Yvette Grice completed the podium inside 10 hours. What a win for the Canadian.
The people of Vitoria know me a little bit, and I really worked off of the energy that the people of Vitoria provided me on the race course.
Well, coming into the finish, the crowd didn't just reserve their best cheers for the winners. Everyone receiving a heroes and heroines reception on the last few metres from glory. A wonderful day, run in a great spirit for the 2,300 competitors. So after some much needed food and a shower, they regathered for the presentation at this, the 10th anniversary edition of one of the top triathlons in Spain. This event is steeped in local as well as national history. After the awards and some fairly handsome checks came a more traditional presentation unique to the Basque Country, a special beret always given to sporting winners in this part of the world. The women receiving equally enthusiastic applause. And then a fitting finale to the weekend, traditional entertainment to sign things off in style from the 2016 edition of the Triathlon Vitoria Gasteiz.